I'm reacting to your Friday Night Smackdown hot takes. And literally 30 seconds before I hit record, I bit my lip, so I'm pretty pissed about that. Hot Takes is a weekly video series where I give you all a platform to be able to voice your thoughts, whether those are good thoughts, bad thoughts, or everything in between about the world of professional wrestling. So if you'd like to be featured in the next episode of Hot Takes, make sure that you're following me over on X, because I ask for your hot takes there after every episode of Raw, Smackdown, and every single WWE Premium Live event. And if you are looking for our full review of this particular episode of Friday Night Smackdown, it's already up and available with footage over on patreon.com/SantiZab. Over there, you're going to get the Smackdown reviews, Raw reviews, and a whole bunch of videos and series that use footage that we can't ever post here on YouTube because the YouTube system would just block them due to copyright. So go check it out. Link in the description, link in the pinned comment. Let's get the video started. Because of how amazing Cena's promo was, people are going to overlook how great once again Logan Paul was on the mic tonight. As much as people refuse to admit it, he is one of the best people on the mic in WWE, and once again proved it on SmackDown. I want to start things off by saying that I have never received so much positive feedback about Logan Paul. Half of the messages typically when Logan Paul is on an episode of SmackDown is just people complaining about Logan Paul's existence in the WWE, but this time around it seems like Logan Paul has won over a lot of people with what was a fantastic promo. A fantastic promo not by Logan Paul standards, just a fantastic promo by main event standards in general. And yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of people are going to just automatically overlook how good Logan Paul was in this segment because John Cena was better. He was ruthless. He was vicious. He even got to mention taboo things that have been sort of off limits when it comes to Logan Paul in the WWE, mentioning his legal problems. I would say that this is arguably John Cena's best promo of his entire retirement tour, but again, we have to comment on just how good Logan Paul's promo was, because if Logan Paul's promo wasn't as good as it was, if his crowd work wasn't as spot on as it was, he would have gotten completely nuked by Cena and he would have ended up like our boy Austin Theory. But no, because Logan's promo was so good, he was able to withstand the nuclear bomb that John Cena launched at him, and at the end, out of the rubble came a much better Logan Paul and a much better built-up match for Clash in Paris. I was really happy with this segment from both sides. John Cena was amazing. Logan Paul was the best that he's ever been on the microphone. I've seen so many people fall flat against, one, a really rowdy crowd like we had in Ireland, and two, just being in front of John Cena. We saw it with Theory, we saw it with Solo, but Logan Paul was able to stand toe-to-toe with arguably the best in the business on the mic. But still, for a handful of people, it won't matter. Like Logan once said, he could walk on water and they'll say it's because he's scared of water and can't swim. I didn't think that Brock would interfere in the John/Logan match before, but Nick Aldis saying that he heard from Brock right before Logan knocked John out makes me think that Brock will end up interfering at Clash and give Logan the win. The setup is too perfect. Yeah, with Nick Aldis breathing the name of Brock Lesnar into the air, I'm fully expecting the show to end with Brock Lesnar taking out John Cena and, like you're suggesting, most likely helping Logan Paul pick up the victory. I think WWE wants the show to end on a big cliffhanger. They want you to want to know what happens next between Brock and John because they know that this is the last show on Peacock. So they want you to go from Peacock over to ESPN to pay those 30 doubloons to see how it plays out at WrestlePalooza. Here's the thing too, I also think that Logan Paul would benefit from a victory here against John Cena, unlike Solo Sikoa and Austin Theory, who weren't able to do anything with their wins over John because they were turned into a pile of rubble with John's promo skills going into their match, so a win didn't do anything for them. Logan Paul, on the other hand, was able to stand toe-to-toe. He survived being eviscerated by John Cena, so he can actually take a victory here and benefit from it tremendously. Every time I hear a Cena promo, I can't help but think that we missed out on some epic promos from him as a face. His recent ones are just exactly what we've been wanting to hear. I think I figured it out. I think that they were really tame with John Cena promos when he was a heel because, well, his job is not to be the cool one. His job is not to be cheered. His job is to make the babyface feel even more likable so that you get behind them as they try to topple the tyrannical John Cena. So if John Cena is delivering heat on the mic, naturally, you're gonna fall in love with John Cena and root for John Cena. We started rooting for John Cena anyway, but that now explains why they were so tame with John Cena promos when it was him and Cody Rhodes in the ring. But now that he's a babyface, His job is to be the cool one. His job is to be the one that you root for. So now we're allowed to see John Cena full-fledged out being a monster on the microphone, destroying people. This is the John Cena microphone skill that I miss, because I truly believe that he is part of the holy trinity of the greatest mic workers of all time. Logan Paul got that Austin Theory rub. I highly disagree. I've seen a couple of people saying that Logan Paul got Austin Theory, that he got buried, that he got destroyed. I just simply disagree with that statement. Austin Theory literally got punked. He got made out to look like a juvenile little bitch in front of John Cena, and that's not how I perceived Logan Paul. Logan Paul cut a fantastic promo. He got some great digs in at John Cena, some that went over people's head, like the whole cohabitation agreement line that he had. But I really believe that he took that nuke, survived, and came out a stronger character on the other side, unlike Austin Theory, who came out being a baby back bitch going into WrestleMania 39. So yeah, I personally disagree. I think Logan Paul came out better because of the John Cena performance. WWE is becoming Spot the Ghost now. Nikki lurking is intriguing. I love what's going on with SmackDown. It's making the backstage segments feel alive, like it's an ecosystem. You have to find the Easter eggs, something that we don't see a lot of on Monday Night Raw. We did, but they sort of started to move away from that trend. But now with the Wyatt Six, every backstage segment has turned into a game of I Spy with my little eye, a little ghoul looking at Kiana James wanting the US title. And I like that it's happening for pretty much every division. It's happening for the US division, the tag team division, the women's division. It's just making backstage segments feel alive. I'm calling it. We're getting a triple threat at WrestlePalooza where Randy finally turns heel by kicking Cody's head. This is kind of where I'm leaning towards. I have a feeling that we're probably going to be getting Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, Clash in Paris, maybe a #1 contendership match. It ends with shenanigans and we get Nick Aldis, gentlemen at WrestlePalooza. It's going to be a triple threat. You guys know how Nick Aldis works. He just sort of hopes that things go into disarray, that brawls happen, and that's how he ends up making matches. I just didn't expect that the time between SummerSlam to Clash in Paris was going to be the time that we were going to be missing Cody Rhodes. I thought it was going to be later in the fall, but yeah, I guess he's knee deeps in filming Street Fighter now, I guess. I'm assuming that we're going to have him back for WrestlePalooza. I'm sure ESPN and WWE want Cody Rhodes for WrestlePalooza as they really try to build up this first show on ESPN to be this big thing to force you to pay the $30. I honestly wouldn't mind this being a triple threat because it could go a bunch of different ways. You could also come out on the other side protecting certain people that you want to protect. That's the beauty of triple threats. You could have Randy Orton still lose but still come out a monster at the other side of it. I actually hope it is a triple threat. I think it's the best choice at the moment. Becky's heel work is amazing. As someone who was there in person, the arena was cheering so loud for her until she told us that we didn't deserve a live broadcast. Oh man, that Becky Lynch promo was fantastic. On a night where both John Cena and Logan Paul delivered fantastic promos in their own regard, Becky Lynch is not being talked about enough for how good of a troll job of a promo that was in Dublin. I obviously understand why she's on the show. It's in Ireland. She is a big Irish star. It does kind of suck that a major Raw star took such a large portion of Friday Night SmackDown away from some of the assets that Friday Night SmackDown has that were just basically relegated to backstage segments, like your mid-card champion, Julia. But it doesn't change the fact that it was an awesome segment. The crowd was hot for the whole Becky Lynch turning on them. I love how delusional she is, and I will continue to stand on the hill and scream that this is the best version of Becky Lynch, better than the man in 2019.
Dude, this just is never worth it. That is insane. It's shaking. The camera is shaking.
Again, trying to one-up it.
Oh! Holy Jeff Hardy, Batman. BME.
Oh! That was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club, available exclusively over on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week, we're looking at the SummerSlam 2000 tables, ladders, and chairs match. It's a crazy one. The match with the legendary crowd that was Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles in Backlash France. A recent classic between Oba Femi, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans at NXT Stand and Deliver. The street fight between Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton at NXT No Mercy. And a Texas Texas death match over an AEW collision between Hangman Adam Page and Christopher Daniels. You'll be getting all of this, plus the Raw review, Smackdown reviews, and every single series that we do that has footage that we can never post here because it would just get blocked due to copyright. So go check it out, link in the description or link in the pinned comment. If you try the Patreon even for just 1 month, I'm incredibly confident that you're gonna fall in love with it. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do as often as we do it, but let's get you back to the video. This segment was amazing. Cena cooked Logan and made a point saying that he took away the opportunity for him to face deserving opponents that he wanted to face. I'm even more excited for this match at Clash in Paris. I love that John Cena pointed this out. I love that he talked about the online fan outrage that there is, where a lot of people feel like Logan Paul is being used too much in the John Cena retirement tour. I love that this felt more real. I love that he was able to mention the taboo, the legal problems. This really felt like the first time that somebody was able to take their kitty gloves off when it came to Logan Paul. And I love the fact that he mentioned the list of names that people want to see him face, because yes, it did create this image in fans' heads that, my God, Logan Paul is a piece of trash for ruining and taking away these opportunities of us seeing these dream matches before John Cena retires, which in turn makes you dislike Logan Paul even more, which in turn makes you root for him even less, which in turn makes you root for Cena even more, which in turn makes you want those guys even more now that John Cena has said them out loud. It's actually kind of brilliant work from John Cena. Didn't watch it and don't care. I don't know. Smackdown has been disposable for a couple of weeks, so I'm skipping this week's episode. I hear you, but unfortunately for you, this is the one episode that you probably shouldn't have skipped. This is the most boring time of the year for the WWE. A lot of episodes of Raw and Smackdown are missable. I'm not going to lie. If you are just watching their YouTube clips, I don't blame you. However, WWE does this from time to time where they'll go through this stretch of kind of mundane episodes of Raw and Smackdown and then hit you with a banger to bring you back in, only to follow it up with a couple more stinkers. But yeah, dude, you should watch this episode of Smackdown. I think this one was absolutely worth the 2 hours. Carmelo and The Miz need to win the tag titles. They bring lots of personality to the division. A short run before their eventual turn should be the way forward. I disagree, mostly because I don't want to overextend this. We've seen what happens with Triple H booking in the tag team division and the splitting of tag teams when they don't just do it when it makes sense. We saw it with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I don't want to go through that again with The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. If it makes sense, pull the trigger, split them up, and have them feud against one another. I do think it's a smart idea to have them go after the tag titles because of who the tag champions are. If you remember, the motivation of the Wyatt Six is to test the brotherhood of the tag team division, and who better to test the brotherhood of what is very clearly a very one-dimensional, very simplistic, very fake brotherhood between The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. They won't win the tag titles, but in that tag titles match, The Miz and Carmelo Hayes will be exposed for what they really are, which is probably enemies. But have them lose that match. Do not have them win the tag titles. Have the Wyatt Six win and have them be the reason as to why the split up happens. Let's not make this last another 2 years. People are going to have to come to terms that Logan Paul is going to be world champ one day, and I'd put him in the Braun conversation at being the future of the company, but I'm so ready for this match. I've come to terms with that a long time ago. I think people are slowly starting to come to terms with that. There will forever be this enclave of people that will never come to terms with it, though. I don't know that I'm willing to say to put him in the Braun conversation as like the future pillar of this company, because Braun Breaker, I think that's a guy that is forever a wrestling guy, a wrestler in the WWE. I don't see anything else that Braun Breaker is going to be doing. Logan Paul, I don't think that this is going to be the thing that he does week in, week out, house shows every single day, performing like not in front of cameras. I just don't see that being the path for Logan Paul. But I do absolutely believe that at some point, I would argue in the next 12 months, Logan Paul's going to be a world champion. And I personally think it's going to be great. Oh man, the internet's going to melt the hell down if Logan Paul wins a world title. And I'm kind of here to see that forest fire. I love this segment. Jimmy is my favorite right now, and Sammy and him are great, but it feels like Jimmy always gets screwed out of these opportunities. Even someone from Raw stole it. Hey, let's not forget Jimmy did get an opportunity. He had the match at Saturday night's main event against Solo Sikoa, so it's not entirely true that he's been been robbed of an opportunity, he was presented with one. But it does once again feel like he's just sort of the third wheel in anything revolving a championship. Before Sammy, it was him just being third wheel to Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Now he's third wheel to Sammy and Solo Sikoa. I don't know that WWE will ever actually pull the trigger on Jimmy Uso. I hope that they do one day because he is so charismatic and so talented. I personally like him more than Jay. This is a great example of the crowd making a show. Massive shout out to the Dublin crowd. They were booing and cheering at the exact right moments and threw in unique cheers, make the atmosphere electric. Oh, I 100% agree. And they weren't overbearing how some crowds have been in the past. I feel like they were just the right amount of rowdy, the right amount of loud. And I like the fact that they were giving Logan Paul so much shit in his promo because it allowed Logan Paul to kind of make or break. And Logan Paul rode the wave and used the heat from the crowd to make his promo even better. I don't know that Logan Paul's promo would have landed as well as it did with me if it wasn't because of how hot the Dublin crowd was for Logan Paul. But also the matches, the Becky Lynch segment, hearing them lose their mind when Drew McIntyre appear on screen. Yeah, I agree, man. Crowds make the show, and this was a crowd that elevated this episode. What was already a good episode was made great because of this crowd. I didn't really get the point of the whole main event. It just kind of felt like, quote, let's just get something for these women to do. Oh yeah, no, this didn't really make a whole lot of sense. This didn't really advance anything forward. I guess it kind of like minuscule advance forward a storyline between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, but really it was sort of a house show match just for the sake of getting a big name from Ireland in the main event in front of the Irish crowd. I don't think that this is going to be a main event that you can really build on, unfortunately, which is why I actually think that, sure, this could have been the in-ring main event, but John Cena and Logan Paul, what happened there, that should have main evented. Then again, now that I think about it, maybe it shouldn't because it would have robbed us from that hilarious moment of Logan Paul punching John Cena and running away. Logan's promo was the best one of him yet. He was working the crowd, but also the passion that he was speaking in. In all of your time that you've been watching this channel, have you seen this many positive Logan Paul hot takes? I never have. But yeah, this was Logan Paul's best promo of his career. We've already talked about that. We've talked about how he was very good at maneuvering himself through this very rowdy crowd, a crowd that would have made a lot of lesser people crumble and look bad. But you're right, I really like the emotional acting, the facial expressions, and the body language of Logan Paul, specifically when John Cena was tearing him down. I saw an angry man, I saw a sad man, I saw a hurt man, I saw a pissed off man all at once, and it became even better in the backstage segment with Drew McIntyre. Oh man, if you hate Logan Paul, this is not the episode for you. Hey, I got an idea. Let's re-sign Truth and then not use him because he flew to the wrong Dublin. Really, Triple H? I mean, like, is this not the R-Truth that you fell in love with? The goofy, idiot R-Truth making mistakes, going to the wrong city? This is the Truth that people were clamoring to come back. The whole We Want Truth movement wasn't because we wanted a new, different version of R-Truth. It's because we just wanted R-Truth back for these moments. I do think that they maybe created this expectation that now we're going to get this new and improve R-Truth, but personally, I never wanted a new R-Truth. I never wanted them to change R-Truth. When he became this angrier, more serious version of himself, I'm like, well, that's not the guy that I was cheering We Want Truth back for. I'm personally happy that we have this version of R-Truth back. If your expectations are a more serious Truth that gets used every single week in matches and storylines, I think you set your expectations too high. I love this dynamic. At first, I wasn't for it, but this promo really sold me on them. I always thought the Logan having a mentor idea was cool, but they missed the mark with heel Cena. I love the way that these masturbators work together. Yeah, the way that they're going back and forth between one another, this is turning into a nice circle masturbator session between these guys. It's great. This was actually one of my favorite segments of the night because I really liked how they're exploring this dynamic between Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. I wasn't sure about it off the back of the Jelly Roll feud, but now that they're sticking with it. The fact that they aren't this like in-ring tag team, but instead are just sort of bouncing off each other backstage, I think is really working for me. And I like the fact that Logan Paul is calling him sir. Yes, sir. Okay. And following his instructions. It's good stuff. I hope that they continue to explore this. I genuinely do. Surprised Charlotte got pinned tonight, even with interference. Massive for Piper, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was very shocked that this happened as well. Also, where was Alexa Bliss? I don't know if she's maybe missing this whole European tour, but I know that she's going to be on the next episode of Friday Night SmackDown because we have a tag team match set up for next week. But yeah, what a pleasant surprise. Charlotte losing to Piper Niven. Basically clean, not entirely clean, like interference in what you would expect from the Secret Service, but still shocking, surprising. If you told me at the start of the year when Charlotte came back and won the Royal Rumble that she'd be doing the job for Piper frickin' Niven, who is wrestling in a suit, I'd laugh at you. In fact, I'd probably kick you. I'd spit on you because that'd be so silly. Okay, that was probably maybe a little bit too much. I would just say, you're crazy. But here we are, Charlotte Flair getting pinned by Piper frickin' Niven. Who would have thought? What happened to these two? Not been seen for 3 weeks in SummerSlam. I have a feeling that these two have been moved over to Monday Night Raw to help bolster the Monday Night Raw division, but also to help even out the odds between Penta versus the New Day, because right now that's 3-on-1 over there. You add these two, all of a sudden it's 3-on-3 in a 3-on-3 match that honestly would be kind of a heater. Why couldn't they just add this to Clash in Paris? If Kabuki Warriors versus Jade and Bianca was added last year at Backlash France, then why not Alexa and Charlotte versus Secret Service as well? I don't know. Honestly, they could have put this on Clash in Paris and I would have been perfectly fine with it. They've done a pretty decent job at building this feud. It's been getting TV time over the last couple of weeks. It's for the titles. It's Alexa and Charlotte Flair who are main eventers. I genuinely would have thought that this would have gotten on Clash in Paris. But I guess now we're back to the model of like 5 matches and then putting a bunch of championship matches on the Friday Night SmackDown before, because it's not just this one. We're also getting a United States Championship match between Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn. Another feud, by the way, that's been getting constant screen time, which you would think is a telltale sign for, yeah, you guys are going to get on the PLE. But nope, we're back to these matches just only being on the SmackDown before the PLE. What's with the build up to Clash in Paris? There's only 4 matches and it's been a minute since the last one was announced. Yeah, as of the making of this video, there are 4 matches that are currently announced for Clash in Paris. There would have been 5 had it not been for Naomi's pregnancy. We would have also been expecting Naomi versus Stephanie Vaquer, but that's no longer the case. We currently have 4 matches on the card, and currently we don't have any women's matches on the card. I am expecting them to add something for the women's world title at Clash in Paris, likely to be announced on Monday Night Raw. I am expecting Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles to get added as well. I was originally expecting Drew and Cody to be there, but I'm assuming that that's going to be saved for whatever it is that they're doing with Drew, Randy, and Cody, most likely for WrestlePalooza. But yeah, I hate this. I hate that we are a week away from the show and we don't really even know what the card is. Julia is underutilized. I'm okay with Nikki versus Julia and her still retaining. Just put the title match in a PLE this time. I mean, you can't justify putting Julia on a PLE right now because they're not giving her PLE worthy storylines. This is a booking problem of the champion, not a skill problem of the champion, because we know that she's fantastic. I don't mind the idea of Nikki versus Julia, but putting it on a PLE right now doesn't really make a whole lot of sense until you actually start to build a narrative around it. How about we start focusing on getting our champion having matches? Because ever since she's won the title back in May, by the way, she's had 1 singles match for the damn thing. That's not okay. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hot Takes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye. Get out of here.